Welcome, have a nice day. Today is Monday, 4th of November 2024. From the history point of view, in 1979, Iran hostage crisis on November 4th, 1979, Iranian militants stormed the United States Embassy in Tehran and took approximately 70 Americans captive. Vasudev Balwant Fadke for November 1845 up to 17 February 1883, the first revolutionary of India to organize an armed rebellion against the British government. Fadke had lit the first spark of the Great War of Independence after the failure of the first organized Great Revolution of 1857. Now, going towards the world news, including Israeli Prime Minister's aide implicated in suspected intelligence leak on Gaza, court reveals. Trump says he might consider vaccine ban if re-elected, plans role for RFK Jr. Spain's king and queen pelted with mud during visit to flood-ravaged Valencia. Misinformation spreads fear and distrust ahead of the United States election day. Political ad stirs controversy over women possibly hiding their votes from their husbands in the United States election. North Carolina sees unprecedented early voting, 4.2 million ballots cast. Starting the newspaper analysis with the newspaper, The Hindu states that Israel investigates leaks that appear to have bolstered Netanyahu as his Gaza atrocity talks stalled. An Israeli court loosened a gag order on a case investigating leaks of classified information suspected to involve one of the Prime Minister Netanyahu's media advisors. An Israeli court has loosened a gag order on a case investigating leaks of classified information allegedly involving one of Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's media advisors. An Israeli court on Sunday loosened a gag order on a case investigating leaks of classified information suspected to involve one of Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's media advisors. Critics say the leaks were aimed at giving Netanyahu political cover as Gaza ceasefire talks around to halt. Netanyahu has denied any wrongdoing, downplaying the affair and publicly calling for the gag order to be lifted. Netanyahu has said the person in question never participated in security discussions, was not exposed to or received classified information, and did not take part in secret visits. On the Sunday, an Israeli court allowed the publication of the name of the central suspect in the case, Eli Feldstein, whom Israeli media said was one of the Netanyahu's media advisors. Israeli media reporters say the case concerns was the leak of classified information of two European media outlets allegedly by Feldstein, who may not have been formally employed and did not have security clearance. The media reported Feldstein joined Netanyahu as an advisor weeks after the October 7, 2023 attacks, and previously worked as an advisor to far-right National Security Minister Itamar Ben-Gvir. The articles came out and Netanyahu was calling for lasting Israeli control over the Philadelphia corridor along the Gaza-Egypt border, a demand that was first made public over this summer. Hamas rejected the demand and accused Netanyahu of deliberately sabotaging the talks, which have been mediated by the United States, Qatar, and Egypt. The articles also seem to provide political cover as Netanyahu faced intense criticism from the families of the hostages and much of the Israeli public who blame him for the failure to reach a deal. The criticism reached a fever pitch in the early September month with the mass protests and calls for a general strike after the Hamas killed 6 hostages as Israeli troops closed in on them. Spain Prime Minister King Heckel on visit to flood-hit area. King Philip VI of Spain talks with a person as a Hungary resident heckled him during his visit to Paipota in the region of Valencia, eastern Spain, on November 3, 2024, in the aftermath of the devastating deadly floods. The crowd's anger seemed mostly directed at Prime Minister Sanchez and at the head of the Valencia region, Carlos Mazon. The delegation led by the Spanish king and the prime minister was heckled on Sunday as it visited the Valencia region hit by the deadly floods, with some screaming assassinations and others throwing mud, according to AFP journalists at the scene. King Felipe VI and Queen Letizia visited to the town of Paipota, one of the most affected by the floods that had killed more than 200 people, alongside the Prime Minister Pedro Sanchez and other officials. The crowd's anger seemed mostly directed at Sanchez and the head of the Valencia region, Carlos Mazon. Mazon resigned. Some shouted, "How many deaths out?" Going to the Hindustan Times newspaper states that funds for new global health plan, World Health Organization nations told. The World Health Organization is seeking increased funding from member states for its investment round to fund its new strategy for global health, said a statement issued by the United Nations health body. In a G20 meeting chaired by the Brazil on Saturday, health ministers called on member states and partners to contribute. In G20 meeting chaired by Brazil on Saturday, health ministers called on all member states and partners to contribute. The G20 leaders summit, scheduled to be held on November 18 to 19, is to be chaired by the president of Brazil, and according to the World Health Organization statement, will be a key moment during which additional G20 countries and other attendees are expected to pledge funding. The ministers called on all member states and partners to contribute to World Health Organization's first investment round to fund its new strategy for global health to improve the lives of billions of people and save 40 million lives, and look forward to further the pledges from G20 members at the Leaders Summit on 18 to 19 November, read the statement. World Health Organization Director General Tedros Adhanom Ghebreyesus said, "I have asked every member state and partner to participate in the investment round. According to its means, so far we have 63 pledges worth more than $1 billion US dollar. Of these pledges, more than half are from first-time voluntary contributors, including money from the African, Western Pacific, and Southeast Asian regions. Every contribution counts. Some of the world's poorest countries have pledged because they see the first-hand the difference that World Health Organization makes. Among the members attending the meeting that have already pledged include Germany, Norway, Singapore, South Africa, Turkey, and the European Union and the Wellcome Trust. At World Health Organization's investment round event last week, its DG highlighted both the challenges and the opportunities of global health in a pandemic preparedness and response, digital health and health equity, and climate change and health. Each of these pressing issues is a priority in the world's global health strategy for the next 4 years. The 14th General Program of the Work, GBW14, which all World Health Organization member states adopted at this year's World Health Assembly, he said. GWP14 is an ambitious plan to save 40 million lives over 4 years. We are seeking the same amount of the 4 years to make the world a healthier and safer place. Compared to global defense, spending this amount is frankly a rounding error. I have asked our member state and partner to participate in the investment round according to its means, said Ghebreyesus. 12 injured in a grenade attack on Jammu and Kashmir India market. Security personnel cordoned off the area after the grenade attack by terrorists in Srinagar on Sunday. At least 12 civilians were injured in the grenade attack on security forces in the busy Srinagar market. Officials aware of the matter said on Sunday, the latest in the series of the terror attacks that have rocked Jammu and Kashmir since the conclusion of assembly polls in the October month. According to the officials, terrorists hurled a grenade from a flyover at a weekly play market, popularly called Sunday Market, opposite the tourist reception center. Tears in the afternoon in the first major extremist strike in the Srinagar in the 2 years. The Philia market is laid on the footpath of the residency road leading the city central in the Lal Chowk and is popularly among the tourists and local residents. Thousands of people visit the market on Sunday and hundreds of them were there at the time of the attack, the officials said. We just heard a pang and everyone starting running. There was a rush of people, Muzaffar Ahmed, a street vendor, said. Speaking on condition of anonymity, a police official said that 12 people received splinter injuries in the grenade attack. They were admitted to the Sri Maharaja Hari Singh SMHS hospital and their condition was stable, the hospital's medical superintendent Tansim Shaukat said. Terrorists lobbed a hand grenade at a security force deployment near the crowded Sunday market in South Srinagar. The grenade exploded with the crowd, injuring 12 civilians, one among them a lady who sustained serious injuries. Police have taken cognizance of this act of terror and is committed to ensuring that the perpetrators are brought to justice. The Srinagar police posted on the platform X. Relationship got affected. We have to ask Jaishankar on India-China ties. External Affairs Minister Jaishankar during an interaction with the members of the Indian community in Brisbane. The disengagement of Indian and Chinese troops on the line of actual control has opened the way for the other steps to improve the bilateral relations through the two sides will have to address various issues that arose from the 4 years military standoff. External Affairs Minister Jaishankar said on a Sunday. Jaishankar said during an interaction with the Indian community in the Australian city of Brisbane that India and China have made some progress after a phase when their relations were very, very disturbed because of this standoff on the line of actual control. Now, going towards the economy of the country from the business point of view, GST frauds multiply. Officials grapple with the widespread evasion, complex scams. Over 7 years after the rollout of GST in July 2017, authorities are still grappling with the multiple such instances of GST frauds involving broadly similar modus operandi. Such cases involve a fake identity or mule accounts to undertake a fraudulent GST transaction in a bid to avail input tax credit or fake bills without actual supply of goods. Let's have a brief look. Fraud. An auto rickshaw driver in Pune and pay company registered in his name were at the heart of an elaborate goods and service tax (GST) scam unearthed by the Directorate General of GST Intelligence (DGI) authorities last week, involving an amount of Rs 5,000 to Rs 8,000 crore. The accused in the fraud are alleged to have registered as many as 246 fake GST firms to commit the multi-crore fraud. Using these fake firms, the accused would use stolen personal identities and multiple bank accounts to undertake the fake GST transactions without any real supply of goods or payment of tax to the government. This is not the first instance of such multi-crore fraud under the indirect tax regime. Over the 7 years after the rollout of GST in July month of 2017, authorities are still grappling with the multiple such instances of GST frauds involving a broadly similar modus operandi. Typically, such cases involving fake identities or mule accounts or to undertake fraudulent GST transaction in a bid to avail input tax credit or fake bills without actual supply of goods. Many suppliers also undervalue their final goods and show purchase of raw materials at lower rates, or they supply taxable goods and services without due payments of GST to the central and the state government. Non-payment tax. The main cause of concern, however, for authorities goes deep into the multi-layered nature of the crime set up for GST fraud. By the time and the tax authorities unravel the last layer, most of the fake credit available by them is exhausted or transferred through the complex web of entities. That is why the detection amount is more than the recovery in such cases, the officials explain. Fake invoicing, fraudulent availment of ITC across the various sectors of goods and services. Now, going towards science and tech, we have the first science result from Aditya L1 mission is out. The Aditya L1 spacecraft is flanked by two halves of the payload fairing of the PSLV C-57 mission rocket before its launch in September month of 2023. As the maximum phase of the current solar cycle approaches, continuously monitoring the sun with the Aditya's VELC payloads is expected to provide valuable scientific data. The first science result from the Aditya L1 mission, India's first scientific mission dedicated to studying the sun, is out. Scientists who developed the visible emission line coronagraph (VELC) onboard Aditya L1 precisely estimated the onset time of coronal mass ejection that erupted on the sun on July 16. VELC visible emission line coronagraph is a spacecraft's primary payload. The Indian Space Research Organization ISRO launched Editorial on September 2nd, 2023 from the Satya Dhawan Space Center in Sriharikota. The spacecraft's VLC payload was developed by the Indian Institute of Astrophysics IIAP Bengaluru. The Sun is a very active object and often spills vast quantities of plasma in violent eruptions called coronal mass ejections. A representative image of coronal mass ejection on the Sun on August 13, 2012. According to the team's statement, the study provides valuable insights into the similar energetic eruptions on the Sun. Observations of the CMEs as they originate on the Sun and understanding their plasma characteristics is one of the major science goals for the VLC, and we are happy that the instrument did exactly that. Or Ramesh, senior professor at IIAP, Indian Institute of Astrophysics, and the principal investigator of the VLC payload, told The Hindu. According to Jagdeep Singh, another co-author, knowing the thermodynamic properties of the CME near the Sun are very important to understand their source regions on the Sun, and VLC is precisely doing that. ISRO, Indian Space Research Organization, placed the Aditya L1 spacecraft in a hollow orbit around the first Earth-Sun Lagrange point L1 on January 6, a little more than 4 months after its launch. The spacecraft has a mission life of 5 years. Himalayan glacial lakes saw a 10.81% area expansion from 2011 to 2024 report. A man dies as he tries to recover a vehicle submerged in the mud in the flood-affected area along the Teesta River in Rangpo, East Sikkim, India, Sunday, October 8, 2023. Rescuers continued to dig through the slushy debris and ice-cold water in a hunt for survivors after a glacial lake burst through the dam in India's Himalayan northeast shortly after the midnight of Wednesday, washing away houses and bridges and forcing thousands to flee. The Central Water Commission (CWC) report states that with a 33.7% expansion of the surface area, the lakes in India experienced an even more substantial rise. Glacial lakes and other water bodies across the Himalayan region saw a 10.81% increase in area from 2011 to 2024 due to the climate change, signaling a heightened risk of a glacial lake outburst floods. GLOFs, according to a government report. The Central Water Commission (CWC) report, which was accessed by PTI, states that with a 33.7% expansion of the surface area, the lakes in India experienced an even more substantial rise. Glacial lakes rise as a glacier retreat. The total inventory area of glacial lakes within India was 1,962 hectares during the year 2011, which was increased to 2,623 hectares during the year 2024 September. There is a 33.7% increase in area, the report said. It also identified 67 lakes in India that witnessed an over 40% increase in surface area, placing them in a high-risk category for the potential GLOFs. Ladakh, Himachal Pradesh, Uttarakhand, Sikkim, and Arunachal Pradesh show the most notable expansion, signaling a heightened risk of GLOFs and the need for the intensified monitoring and disaster preparedness. Glacial lakes and other water bodies across the Himalayan region saw an overall area increase of 10.81% from the 5,33,401 hectares in 2011 to 5,91,108 hectares in 2024 due to the climate change, the report said. Government to review design of dams vulnerable to glacial lakes outburst floods. The CWC reports also underscored the transboundary risks posed by expanding the glacial lakes in the neighboring countries, including Bhutan, Nepal, and China. Given the interconnected nature of the river basins across the Himalayan watershed, collaboration with these countries is crucial. Managing the potential impacts of GLOFs, it underlined. The report called the joint monitoring efforts and data sharing to build a more comprehensive risk assessment and mitigation strategy. It highlighted the urgent need for international and regional cooperation in developing early warning systems, enhancing disaster management plans, and promoting community awareness initiatives to safeguard vulnerable populations. Satellite imagery covering catchments of Indian Himalayan river basins show significant changes in glacial lakes. The implication of area expansion of the glacial lakes extended beyond flood risks and can impact water availability in the region's major river systems, including the Ganga, Brahmaputra, and Indus. Using data from 2011 and drawing comparisons with the 5 and 10-year averages, the CWC's report identified patterns of glacial lake expansion that allow authorities to pinpoint high-risk areas. The official cited above said that with the commitment to reducing monitoring intervals and improving the data precision, the CWC aims to establish a robust system for early detection and response to evolving challenges posed by the Himalayan glacial lakes. Model by Chennai. Pune team predicts birth weight from routine scans. A health worker prepares to weigh a newborn baby. Accurate information about the birth weight is crucial for maternal and fetal health. Scientists, the model could reduce the need for multiple ultrasound scans once it is validated at a great scale. Researchers from the Institute of the Mathematical Science (IIMC) and the Sitapathy Clinic and the hospital, both in Chennai, and the Indian Institute of Science, Education and Research (IISER) Pune, have developed a model that can predict a newborn's birth weight using routine scans during the pregnancy. Accurate information about the birth weight is crucial for maternal and fetal health. The low weight can cause complications like a preterm birth, while heavier babies are harder to deliver safely. Knowing fetal birth weight can help healthcare providers identify possible risks and plan interventions. Last, there is a famous quotation by a famous president of India, whose full name is Abul Kalam Ghulam Muhyiddin Ahmad bin Khairuddin Al-Hassani Azad, Maulana Abul Kalam. Birth anniversary 11 November 1888 up to 22nd February 1958. Was an Indian independence activist, writer, and a senior leader of the Indian National Congress. Following India's independence, he became the first Minister of Education in the Indian government. He is commonly remembered as the Maulana Azad. The word Maulana is an honorific meaning our master, and he had adopted as free as his pen name. His contribution to establishing the Education Foundation in India is recognized by celebrating his birthday as National Education Day across India. In October month in 1920, Azad was elected as a member of the founding committee to establish Jamia Millia Islamia at Aligarh in Uttar Pradesh. Without taking help from the British colonial government, he assisted in shifting the campus of the university from Aligarh to New Delhi in 1934. The main gate number 7 on the road to the main campus of the university is named after him. Azad was one of the main organizers of the Darasana Satyagraha. In 1931, he emerged as one of the most important national leaders of the time, prominently leading the cause of the Hindu-Muslim unity as well as opposing secularism and socialism. He served as the Congress president from 1940 to 1945, during which the Quiet India Rebellion was launched, as was imprisoned together with the entire Congress leaders. He also worked for the Hindu-Muslim unity through the Al Hilal newspaper. Maulana Abul Kalam Azad says a famous quotation. He says that education imparted by heart can bring revolution in the society. Okay, thank you.